Welcome to the first annual Bourbon Night Awards. From It's Bourbon Night, please welcome your hosts for this evening, Chad and Sarah.
Welcome to the first annual Bourbon Night Awards.
This year we're celebrating the excellence of whiskey in the year of 2018 in the categories of bourbon and rye whiskey.
This year we have 11 different categories to announce winners in, with a lot of really great nominees.
Let's get started.
The winners of all categories, unless otherwise noted, were determined by the Bourbon Night community. Our Patreon supporters were first polled in each category with up to 10 options. The top 5 winners were then presented to the YouTube community. A combination of the Patreon and YouTube results were then combined to determine the winner in each category. The results are 100% crowdsourced.
Craft whiskey is such a broad category, and with so many distilleries popping up all over the United States, it's nearly impossible to have tried them all. But here are 5 exceptional nominees.
New Riff Bottled and Bond Bourbon, Iron Root Harbinger, Wilderness Trail Bottled and Bond Bourbon, Garrison Brothers Cowboy Bourbon, and Sagamore Spirit Double Oak Rye.
And the Bourbon Night goes to... New Riff Bottled and Bond Bourbon.
As whiskey becomes increasingly popular, we have the fortune to try many different expressions from all kinds of distilleries all over the country. Unfortunately, with that popularity comes the rise in demand, creating a difficult market for things that we once loved and could easily find.
Yes. Here are the nominees for the most frustrating rise in popularity in 2018. Buffalo Trace, Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond, Henry McKenna 10-year Bottled and Bond, Weller Special Reserve, Eagle Rare.
And the Bourbon Night goes to... Henry McKenna Bottled and Bond.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah,
Yes.
not much of a surprise there. Yeah, dang on it. Our next category is for Best Limited Edition, Best LE for short. It's always so many to look forward to every year. It's hard to wait for them. It's even harder to get a hold of them.
Here are the nominees for Best Limited Edition. Booker's 30th Anniversary, George T. Stagg, Four Roses 130th Anniversary Small Batch, William LaRue Weller, Larceny Barrel Proof.
And the Bourbon Night goes to... Booker's 30th Anniversary.
I quite agree.
Yeah, I agree. Good job.
Although we do spend a great deal of our year looking forward to those limited edition releases, we also have a good time enjoying some bottom shelf, if you will, value pours. And we feel very lucky that they go under the radar for as long as they do for our enjoyment at a very affordable price.
Absolutely. Another tough year of great values. A lot of people out there were suggesting the Jim Beam Distiller's Cut. That was actually in 2017, so that was not a nominee. But here are the nominees for Best Value. New Riff Bottled and Bond Bourbon, New Riff Bottled and Bond Rye, Jim Beam Repeal Batch, Wilderness Trail Bottled and Bond Bourbon, Old Ezra 7-year Cask Strength.
And the Bourbon Night goes to... Jim Beam Repeal Batch.
It's rather good.
That is rather
Rather
good.
good. It's good value.
Yes.
Good value. Well, most of the time we're chasing what's inside the bottle, but there's those few occasions when you're chasing the bottle itself just as much, because it itself is a work of art, and that makes it worthy for this category.
The nominees for Best Bottle Design are Old Fitzgerald Bottled and Bond, Knob Creek Cask Strength Rye, Chicken Cock, New Riff Bottled and Bond, Booker's 30th Anniversary.
And the Bourbon Night goes to... Old Fitzgerald Bottled and Bond. No real surprise there.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
When you're emulating a bottle from the mid
Yeah, the vintage
20th century,
days,
it's
yeah.
It's pretty much a given. Much like the allure of a bottle's design, the story behind a bottle of bourbon or whiskey can be just as intriguing and make you want what's inside even more.
That is so true. Here are the nominees for Best Story Behind the Bottle. Old Forester, 1910. Booker's 30th Anniversary. Russell's Reserve, 2002. Wild Turkey, Long Branch. Jefferson's Ocean, Voyage 14, Cask Strength.
And the Bourbon Night goes to Booker's 30th Anniversary. When the box is made out of the floor that Booker No walked on. That is fairly romantic.
You know, when he tells his son Fred, don't let them mess with my Bookers, and to this day he still hasn't.
It gives
that
you the
also
feels.
goes along with the story.
Yeah.
Good story. Well, either you love it or you hate it, but you're not in between. There's proponents, there's people against it. It may have even caused a few arguments or two.
The nominees for the most divisive whiskey are King of Kentucky, Parker's Heritage Orange Curacao finished, Wild Turkey Long Branch, Old Ezra 7-year Cask Strength, Cream of Kentucky.
And the Bourbon Night goes to Wild Turkey Long Branch.
Agree. I've had many a debate about that one.
Yeah, also nominated for Best Story. I think the Matthew McConaughey thing is a good story, but a lot of people just weren't on board for the flavor.
The way, it pushed the
possibly
boundaries a little. Yeah.
The proof. But other people's were for it, and that's what makes it divisive. You loved it or you hated it.
weren't.
Some
Yeah.
strong feelings either way, though.
Yes. Cask Strength whiskey is a category near and dear to our hearts. We love the uncut, unadulterated nature of these spirits.
Here are the nominees for Best Cask Strength Whiskey. Elijah Craig, Barrel Proof, C918. Booker's 2018-04 Kitchen Table. George T. Stagg. Elijah Craig, Barrel Proof, B518. Booker's 30th Anniversary.
And the Bourbon Night goes to George T. Stagg,
Hard to beat.
right?
Tough category, but
Very tough. Very close. Very
you
close
all have
race.
spoken. Well, it's one thing to be of value, it's another thing to be popular, and then there's a category of underrated.
Which we shouldn't talk about too much.
Yeah, we shouldn't talk about too much because then it'll be in that most frustrating rise in popularity, but here we are.
Here are the nominees for the most underrated whiskeys of 2018. Wild Turkey, Rare Breed. Evan Williams, Bottled and Bond. Wild Turkey, 101. Jim Beam, Repeal Batch. Baker's.
And the Bourbon Night goes to Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Gotta agree, it was actually
100%.
pretty unanimous
Yes.
in the voting.
And especially considering the rumors that the juice going into those bottles right now is a little bit older than it normally has been to accommodate for that Wild Turkey Long Branch.
Yes.
Making it extra tasty.
And it has been confirmed, and it's by the laser code, and some of it does have some 10-year juice in there, so there you go.
I'd call that underrated.
Very.
Each episode of It's Bourbon Night has a very special level of care put into it by Chad and myself. Sometimes we even get dressed up for you. And it turns out that our fans have taken notice. Our Patreon members suggested and voted exclusively in this category.
Here are the nominees for the best It's Bourbon Night episode of 2018. What's it like to go on a barrel pick? The 2018 New Orleans Bourbon Festival recap. Bourbon and Halloween candy pairing live. The Crowded Barrel Distillery opening. The Barrel Proof Bourbon Flight Fight Finals.
And the Bourbon Night goes to... I know.
This one's for us.
What's it like to go on a barrel pick?
I love that episode.
I love that episode
great
because it's a
episode.
culmination of years of footage.
Yeah, like almost 3 years of footage.
And you worked very hard on that one.
We
And
all
it really shows.
Yeah,
Yes.
well,
So
thank
thank
you.
you, patrons, for voting and suggesting that category. Oh,
Hey.
thank you. Oh, I was gonna give it back to you, but that's fine. It's here.
No, no,
take
you take
No,
it. No,
you take it.
I insist.
Well,
Oh.
before we get to our final category of the evening, we would like to present the Lifetime Achievement Award to Dave Pickrell. Throughout his career, Dave worked on and consulted with over 100 different distilleries. His influence in the industry earned him the nickname the founding father of the craft distilling movement. We would like to honor Dave tonight with a Bourbon Night Award for Lifetime Achievement.
Cheers, Dave. Thank you. And that brings us to our last category of the evening. This is what we consider the big one. Of course, we already have done our best bourbon of 2018.
That's
that
right.
episode is out there. You can go watch it. It's actually the top 6 best bourbons of 2018 in our opinion. Now we go to best rye whiskey. And again, this is from the people. This is crowdsourced.
And the nominees for Best Rye Whiskey of 2018 are New Riff Bottled in Bond Rye, Sazerac Rye, Thomas H. Handy, Knob Creek Twice Barreled Rye, Knob Creek Cask Strength Rye.
And the Bourbon Night goes to Knob Creek Cask Strength Rye. It's a good one.
It's very impressive.
It's a good one.
That actually makes me really happy.
You know, voted on by the people. Of course, the people
You have spoken.
will have a lot more opportunity to have tried that than possibly a Buffalo Trace Antique
Sure.
Collection.
But for being readily
Rye.
available and not super expensive, within the
Correct.
realm of affordability,
Yes,
I think that it sits right there in a nice spot.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a good one. You should check it out if you haven't. Congratulations
To all the winners.
to all the winners, and thank you for joining us for our first annual Bourbon Night Awards. Sorry we didn't have time to do the big song and dance number.
No, we didn't prepare a musical act.
Maybe next year.
Or an intro. Normally there would be stand-up comedy in the
Right,
beginning.
yeah.
It's not really our thing, but we would like to thank everyone who voted and contributed to coming up with these categories, making these nominations, and then voting.
Yes, absolutely.
Without you, we couldn't have done it. Or it would have just been our opinions.
Yes. And we do that enough, as
We
it
do.
is.
So this night is also to honor you.
Yes. And if you like what we have brought to our table here, you can hit the subscribe button. You can give us a thumbs up or leave us a question down below if you like.
As we mentioned, you can become a patron. It's patreon.com/itsbourbonnight and join in polls and become part of our community.
Absolutely. You can also join in the little things that we have to create our Bourbon Night at our Amazon page. It's amazon.com/shop/itsbourbonnight.
You can find all of our merchandise on whiskeyambitions.com.
And lastly, you can follow us on all the social medias at It's Bourbon Night. Well, that'll do it. We will see you guys next year. We're already taking note of exceptional things that have come out in 2019. So
Yes.
thanks, Sarah.
Thank you, Chad.
Okay. And until next time, drink more bourbon.
What after party are we taking the bourbon night to?
I don't know. George Clooney usually has a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
I was thinking Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone maybe.
Ooh,
You know,
Emma
You
Stone.
do like her.
What?